Hi, my name is Spooky Bara, and welcome to my channel. This is a piece of fan art that I've done for Buffy the Vampire Slayer. These two characters are part of the ship called Buffy, which includes Spike and Buffy. During the summer, I usually do a Buffy the Vampire Slayer rewatch, which I call the Summer of Buffy. However, for whatever reason, I wasn't able to do that this year, but that doesn't mean that I haven't indulged in some fan art sketches and other pieces in my sketchbook and on my iPad. This just happened to be a full piece that I wanted to complete. I was completely inspired by a Rita Hayworth photo that I came across on Pinterest just by chance, and I just immediately knew that it had to be a Buffy fan art. So that's how this came to be, and I've for a little while wanted to have a finished work. I've done pretty much just sketches and full illustrations in my sketchbook, but nothing like this digitally that I've done. And as I was doing this, I came up with a few different variations that I wanted to do. So you'll see those at the end. But I pretty much just sketched exactly how the characters were in the reference photo and tried my best to make Sarah Michelle Gellar look like herself, which is very hard to do because her nose for some reason just throws me completely off. So there's a lot of working and reworking her face, but for the most part, like the body and her hair were pretty easy to accomplish. And then Spike, of course, I had his eyes open at first, which I thought was what I wanted in the beginning. And then as I kept working on it, I realized it looked kind of creepy. So I decided to close or have both of their eyes closed. And then I changed my mind again. So you'll see that in the later portion of this speed paint. But yeah, here it still looks like Spike has a tux on, which of course I had to change to his trench coat. So that'll happen eventually, which was also relatively easy to do for myself. The problem that I had, or the thing that I had the most issues or problems with was Buffy's left hand, the one that's cradling Spike's head. I still think it looks a little off, even though I've completed it by now. But with practice, it'll get better, and I should probably just focus on getting the foundation solid before I move into rendering. But for me, that is really hard to do. I really just like getting to that final rendered stage and adding the highlights and all that stuff. So it's really hard for me to work on everything else. This piece is also in grayscale, not because of just the reference being in grayscale, but because I just love grayscale and that is my comfort zone. And if I'm going to jump into a fully rendered piece with two very realistic people, then I should probably stick to what I'm comfortable with, at least give myself some grace in that aspect. But I really like how the grayscale of the characters goes with the red in the background. I don't know. I just like the vibe. So getting into Buffy the Vampire Slayer, I actually started watching this when I was around 8 or 9 when it first aired. And I would sneakily watch this behind my parents' back because I was supposed to be in bed at the time that it aired. So that's just a very good core childhood memory of mine, is just hiding under a blanket watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer and then later Angel. Just peak childhood. But I'm super excited to see how the new season turns out with Sarah Michelle Gellar returning to reprise the role of Buffy. I know it's not going to be the same. I definitely know that, but I'm so excited to just expand into the Buffy universe and to see some characters come back and to see where the story has led them. I know that there are comics that go in depth into, after season 7. And I have some of the comic books and I've read some of those, and it would just be nice to get a different perspective. So, and I'm also looking forward to not only having new fans to, I don't know, just I assume people are going to be creating fan art and just really getting into Buffy, and I hope that there's more and more merchandise. I know I've already indulged in the Loungefly Buffy the Vampire Slayer collaboration backpack, but I'm just excited to see some new merch, maybe some better quality merch. You know, this is an old show, so I'm really excited to see what new merchandise will come around, and the new fans. So I'm more than welcome to share this obsession that lives rent free in my head with other people. So moving on to my obsession with Buffy. Like I said, I was a kid when I first started watching this, so I'm 100% sure that I did not get the relationship and dynamics of a lot of these characters and relationships. But Buffy just is a different kind of heartache. Like, it's that enemies to lovers, and just this weird way that an enemy puts themselves or finds themselves in your life, intertwining with your people, and eventually, you know, in your heart. Maybe not how other love interests are supposed to be, but it's so dynamic, and I could go in depth for hours talking about Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but it's just, you know, it's epic. Here, if you don't see it, or if you didn't catch it, the blue scribble I was going to add in Buffy holding a stake to Spike's back, and eventually just didn't go through with that. I'm sure it would have probably been a better illustration had I taken the time to do that. And I just ultimately didn't. I was too far into this illustration, and I knew that I was going to get more and more frustrated if I started changing things up. So that did not happen. That would have been so cool, though. I will admit that. And yeah, so I took that out. It was a shower thought too. I was like, wait, why is she cradling his head when she should be holding a stake to his back? But you know, you live and you learn. So maybe in the next illustration in the series, because this may actually be a series, I did see another photo in the similar kind of vibe, that I may do another illustration to go with this one. So we will see. As I'm doing this voice recording, I'm realizing that I have sketches of Buffy, and like just Buffy, from like 3 sketchbooks ago that have the same kind of black and white with a red background or accents on it. And I really like those sketches. I'll put them up on the screen here. So yeah, like I said, this is just in my head all the time, 24/7. I need more people to be in on this. This needs to, I need to share this obsession with more people. But yeah, no, that's exciting. So I definitely have enough sketches and enough ideas to go around to keep me busy for quite a while. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm just really, really, really proud of myself for finishing this piece. And maybe one day I'll do a background. But you know, I'm just happy to have it out there, and I'm looking forward to doing more of these. And I'm so glad that I decided to screen record it, because I do get really nervous when I start screen recording, even though I'm like not talking to anybody. I just get that, you know, I feel like an audience is watching me. But this one, even though it took a couple of weeks, you know, between after work or on the weekends working on it, it kind of flew by and kept me busy, and I really liked going back to my roots of digital art and, you know, working brushes. And I use so many different brushes in this. But Clip Studio Paint has that chain brush, that little necklace that she has. That's the chains that I used for that. And then I added some light, I think it's like splattering. Oh, here's where I put a smiley over his face so that I could take a progress for my TikTok because I didn't want to give it away that it was Spike, even though I, in the description, said it was Buffy. But yeah, I used a few different kinds of brushes and just the technique of lowering opacity and taking my time. And this was really fun. And again, self-indulgent on many different levels, actually. But here I am playing with the open eyes version. And if I thought Buffy's nose was hard to draw, well, her eyes are even harder to draw, especially after the fact. So I feel like I got to a place where it did look correct, which is why I stopped and called it a day. But yeah, I'm really happy with how this piece came out, and just glad that I pushed through and got it done, and had some fun with the variations. So here we go. That's it. That's the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Okay, bye.